Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Ya Boy Kongming. So, we are now at the penultimate episode here, and it's quite fitting, right? The story is nearing its climax as well. We've gone through all the other stuff and the other characters, their side stories. Kaibi Taijin is finished with his battle. The dude's commanded for Charmin. He's rapping like a boss now, and ready to face the final battle, right? Aiko as well. She's found her voice, she's done her recording, and now all that is left is to see what exactly Kongming has in plan to make them gather a viral social media post. I believe it's on Instagram, right? 100,000 likes. What exactly is his big plan for doing this? I kind of feel like this season will probably end once they either win. I'm still assuming that they're gonna win, right? That they're gonna win and then receive they will receive the honor of being able to play at Summersonia. I don't expect us to get to that point where they are performing, because if they did, that would mean that they literally win in this episode and then perform in the next episode. And I feel like that would be a little bit too rushed, right? Unless, of course, they just want to, show like a big happy ending, and they don't really want to look at some further episodes and whatnot. So we'll have to see about that. Actually, that's a good question, right? Is she going to win? Is Aiko going to win? I mean, we would think so, right? She is the protagonist. This seems to be like a pretty big thing here, and so far Kongming has not let us down yet, right? In terms of his predictions and how he's going to guide Aiko to victory. And yet, well, it's hard to say, because there has been sometimes in some stories where people get shocked that, oh, actually the main character did not win. Not quite sure if that's going to happen here, but in any case, let's get into it and figure it out together. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, it's Rimong, which I talked about last episode. How out of all his peers, actually he was more of a general first. Right? This is literally one of the rags to riches guy. Yeah. And this is actually historical fact. This is fact. This is not something from Romance of Different Kingdoms. Yeah. Oh, we do not have the opening here. That means we're building up to a pretty important episode here, right? In all honesty, though, I do feel like Dreamer, as it is right now, does not quite have the same impact as either the opening nor the ending of this anime. Which is, I mean, that can't be helped, right? Oh, are they actually going to be finishing the what's it called? The competition right in this episode? So are we seriously gonna see them performing on Summer Sonia in the next one? I certainly hope not. That would be way too rushed in my opinion. No? But yet we were bamboozled. And here I was hyping it up to be like a, we do have those moments in anime, right, where something important is gonna happen, so we skip the opening to give more time and to add to the solemnness of everything. I mean, I can't really be mad at this, to be honest. Seriously though, how many of you guys are hoping that Aiko actually sings either this song or Kiban Jojo from the ending? Right? The famous story from Redcliffe, the famous stratagem of Kongming. Now this one was from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I just knew that it would have happened sometime, sooner or later. It's literally one of his most famous stratagems. Alright, so what are you gonna post? Oh. Hmm? Alright. I'm going to assume this is a reference to one famous Japanese YouTuber, although I don't really watch Japanese YouTubers, so this I can't really comment on. But considering all the various other references we've had so far, I would definitely not be surprised if this was also a reference. Looking her without her mask on and with those twin tails. Again, I've already mentioned in the last episode, it's not the case where I'm disgusted by them doing this method. I'm disgusted how simple a method it is, right? Like, it's not creative at all. It's literally something an intern could think of. Alright. I get why the this episode is called is using that stratagem. Basically Kongming is going to utilize the fact that all the hype has been built around Azalea and them gathering around here in order to basically intercept the fans that are gathered here and instead turn them to Aiko's performance instead. All right. So now they're showing how he's still a musician at heart, right? He's just become disenchanted with the industry, if you will. Let me make a guess. At the end here, when it seems they're about to lose, I feel like Azalea will probably start playing themselves, and make it really turn it into a duke it out sort of battle between Azalea and Aiko here. Calling it right now. No, that is Kongming's plan. Yeah. Just by the episode title, this strategy should be quite obvious here. And they don't even know who Azalea is. There's gotta be like some more stuff as well, right? But yeah. So, is this gonna be the debut of Dreamer? No, this is going hard rock here. Oh, they're borrowing Azalea's style? Really? Yeah. Is that even legal, though? That's funny. Like I said, that's not really a pop idol kind of song at all. That's not the actual QR code. Oh my god. Right. The Battle of Redcliffe. And the 1 million people, 1 million army of Total was also kind of like exaggerated in the records of the Three Kingdoms. In the actual historical estimates is around 500,000 people, so about half. uh, oh damn! Already at 62,000. Seriously? Huh. Right, now we have a head-to-head matchup here. In all honesty, I actually really like Azalea's songs. Like it's the type of music that I personally listen to a lot. More of the symphonic metal kind of inspired kind of songs with strong female vocals. I love that kind of stuff. But honestly, this song isn't really symphonic metal. It's more like just metal. Alright, so once they stop, now is the time for Dreamer, right? I can't really quite agree with all that. I think it's amazing that you have someone like Nanami who is, she has the look, she has the talents, she can be a musician, and she can dance as well. Like, how multi-talented is this girl, right? I know they're trying to make this whole thing about her being forced to do something that she doesn't really want, but I mean, honestly, to me, this just makes her more impressive. Alright, alright. Azalea, so A to Z. Are they seriously saying that there's 100,000 people gathered there on the streets in Shibuya? I really don't think that's quite possible, but alright. Oh, okay, so they don't actually have to be there, right? They can share it. Alright, what are you doing? Okay. 离间计. Right, yeah. So then they're going to be alright. Alright. I don't really think putting out a diss track in this kind of situation is really... Oh, huh. What exactly are they? Okay. Oh, this is funny. Fake news! Okay, good. So we are actually keeping the final confrontation, the final showdown in the next episode, right? That's what I was hoping for. Oh. Alright, never mind. We are back. Oh, hey! I think it's a... Huh? This ending sequence is definitely... Huh? Oh, okay. Never mind. It was just... Oh, by the way, I've never really mentioned this before, but... Diluc and Kaya? Anyone? Alright, I will see you guys after this. Alright guys, so that was episode 11, and things pretty much went as expected, right? Once you see the title of the episode, you pretty much can figure out that it has to be somewhat related to this sort of scenario here. I'm not going to go too much into historical detail here. I don't think that's really needed. Battle of the Red Cliff and Kongming's sort of strategy of borrowing the arrows from the Wei army was kind of like one of the most well-known battles and well-known scenes, well-known strategies of Kongming throughout the entire like Three Kingdoms lore and history and whatnot. Yeah, I would say that's most likely the #1 thing, and a lot of people would know about, just because it's a very good. It's very good to make an epic storyline just revolving around that battle, right? Like, literally, there are movies that are completely focused on the events leading up to that battle and its aftermath and whatnot. So, I don't really feel like we need to talk too much more about that part. I'll only mention that, again, whether or not the arrow borrowing thing was historical fact, there is some debate there about that. I can't quite remember like what the actual consensus was, but I think it's the general idea is that there was some way that Kongming managed to get the ammunition for the armies, but maybe not necessarily in that dramatic a manner, right? And the second thing, of course, is the scale of the battle. According to the fictionalized Romance of Three Kingdoms, it's like Cao Cao leading a 1 million army, which vastly outnumbers the allied army of both Liu Bei and Sun Zhen, right? The Wu and Shu armies. But in actual reality, it was never near 1 million people. The estimates vary. I've seen figures anywhere from 200,000 all the way up to like 500,000-600,000, but it's definitely not anywhere near 1 million. So that's basically all I want to talk about for that particular battle there. Let's talk more about this episode here, right? And especially the strategy that was used and the general feel of this particular episode. So, I mean, it's quite clever in its own way, right? I'm not quite sure about arriving before Azalea did, and then singing their song and using that sort of method to sort of like scam the people into scanning the QR codes. I actually thought it was going to be more of a frontal battle and really just duking it out and sort of like relying on their performance in order to get likes. I basically just utilized the idea that there are so many people gathered here already, and then because honestly to them it doesn't matter, right? You can literally like 2 people. It's not like you can only like one post. You can like Azalea and like Aiko as well. So I was thinking it was going to be more a case of, okay, they will basically just show their talents and let the talents play out themselves, right? And see who is better based on that. So I was thinking that that was going to be the case, so I think it's still going to be building up to that sort of storyline. After all, both sides did not win yet, so probably next episode, that's the sort of like the heads-up matchup that I'm talking about. And I'm reckoning that Azalea will probably also ditch their mask and whatnot and start playing for real, taking out like their full potential, if you will, whereas Aiko would be singing and Kaibitaijin will be rapping along and whatnot, and then they will duke it out there. And then I'm assuming that both sides probably will surpass 100,000 votes, but 100,000 likes, I mean. But then they are going to be competing like who has more, right? Actually, I'm not quite sure. What was the exact rules of this again? Is it that if either side reaches 100,000 likes, like was there only going to be one winner, and the one who receives the most votes is the one who gets to go, or is it a case of if you pass the 100,000 likes sort of like cutoff line, then you can go? I'm not quite sure, because according to like what the exact rules are, I could foresee a case where both of them go, right? Like I said, you literally only have to leave a like. You don't have to pay anything or whatnot, and there's nobody because it's a like on a post, right? So I don't think it's not necessarily a or actually, hold on a second. Could it be a case where you can only like one person if it's not actually like a Twitter post or an Instagram post? Okay, that's kind of convoluted, but it's kind of important, because that, depending on how the exact rules are, it would kind of also change on how the story outcome could be. Because I could foresee a situation where both Azalea and Aiko reaches over 100,000 likes, and they both get to go to Summersonia. Maybe they both reach over 100,000 likes, but only one of them can go. And in that case, I could also foresee either side, like Azalea and Aiko, either side of them getting to go there. And honestly, either one, I would be fine with. In all truthfulness, because I gotta fully admit here, if we are just going to go by, like, if this story was not centered around, like, Aiko and Kongming, right, and we're just purely looking at this based on aesthetics and based on musical style, honestly, I would probably vote for Azalea. That is more my type of music, and the fact that they are able to do this kind of music, they can sing this kind of music, and heck, I'm pretty sure they can probably perform this kind of music actually on their instruments as well, and they can dance as well. Like, holy shit, I am definitely 100% casting my vote for Azalea. Like I said, I appreciate people who are multi-talented, and the fact that, so what if they don't really write their own songs? They clearly demonstrate the ability to do that as well. So honestly, like, I could see the potential for the ceiling for them is so goddamn high. You guys have no idea, right? Like, think about it like this: they could literally have a case where they play some of the songs written by the producer, right? And some of it goes for that more metal inspired or melodic metal inspired, symphonic metal inspired songs. They can do their own stuff as well, maybe hard rock, maybe some power pop as well, writing their own songs. And think about it like this, right? They can literally have a concert where some of the time they are playing their instruments and some of the time they are up and dancing. Like, how freaking cool is that? Like, if that kind of band actually exists, like, I will be completely blown away. I would definitely love them and buy so much of their stuff instantly. All right. As it stands, I did mention in the past episode actually, maybe not quite the past episode, but 2 episodes prior, I keep an ongoing, like, sort of interest, a vested interest within the Japanese all-female rock band scene. So I do take a look at, like, what acts there are and whether or not any of them are kind of sort of similar to this as well in terms of their abilities and talents and whatnot. I would say the one most I mentioned, like, a more smaller and a lesser known one called Rurirori, who tried to do something similar where they call it the Nitalio, which is like the twin sword style, and so basically they had their entire thing based on we can play our instruments, we can play our instruments and sing at the same time, but when the time comes, we can also put down our instruments and go up and sing and dance at the same time as well. And that was a pretty awesome concept, except that honestly their performance level wasn't exactly at that high of a tier, but regardless, I thought that it was great. And if there is actually this kind of group out there, like, do let me know, because that would be absolutely awesome, right? There are some who mix a few elements of this. Gacharic Spin, which I've mentioned before, also does something like that as well. They don't really quite dance, but I guess you could say that they're dancing along with their instruments, if you will, and for making some very high energy movements and performances whilst playing at the same time. So I guess that kind of sort of fits the mold here, but all I'm saying is that, to be honest, that is much more my style than whatever Aiko and Kavitaijin and them are doing. So if I really had to cast my vote right now, I would honestly cast for them. And it seems that they are really not trying to make this into sort of the they're not trying to make like an evil character, right? Like, even the producer here, we can clearly see, like, I'm gonna be honest, I never really hated him in the first place. The only thing I was disappointed by is how uninspired his marketing strategy is, because when you have so much resources and whatnot, I'm sure you can find like some better way than just putting out a 1 million giveaway prize. Like, that is 100 million giveaway prize. Like, that is so uninspiring. They literally could have so many different kinds of things different types of cool stuff to do with that kind of money, but then they chose the most unimaginative kind of method. So that's what I'm disappointed by. I actually have no qualms or no problems with what the producer is trying to do. It's not like he's forcing the girls into some sort of sleazy contract where if they go, then suddenly they have to face like huge amounts of fines or anything like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can leave at any time they want. It's just a matter of if they want to or not, and they are reaping the benefits of being here at the same time. So I honestly can't blame the dude, right? And I understand this sort of like, okay, they're a musician, they want to do music stuff instead, and not this dancing around and whatnot. But like, that's a form of art as well. Do you know how hard it is to do synchronized dancing, and to dance to a choreography in like, especially for these multi units, and it's not like they're all dancing the exact same moves. They are choreographed to like step around and do movements and whatnot. That takes lots and lots of practice. We literally saw that last episode, how they spent so much time just in front of the just in the practice room, practicing their movements there. Like, that takes a lot of talent and a lot of hard work as well. So I honestly, if anybody disses that kind of performance, I would be the first one to be like, no, you know nothing. All right, so I can't really fault them for that, honestly. And yeah, sure, they're still making this entire thing about, oh, don't look at me, Aiko, I'm ashamed and whatnot. But like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That was an awesome performance. All right. Now, though, to be honest, the singing though, I have to say I kind of preferred Aiko's for this song. Like in the past few, like the sort of like power ballads and whatnot, I have to say Nanamin's voice was definitely very, very good, and I would say even in some aspects probably better than Aiko's. But for this particular song, I kind of like Aiko's performance more than Nanami's performance. Kind of ironic, isn't it? But that's just the case here. Alright, but anyways, when all was done and said, they've kind of like turned this into like a final confrontation, a final showdown between them. And by the way, like, one final thing before we get into like the wrap up, I'm not really sure if what Kaiba Taijin did there would really fly in real life, right? I don't know, being so confrontational. Like, even if you do have a really good performance, it's bound to get you a lot of antis and haters as well. So it could really, really backfire, honestly. Making a diss track like that directly in front of them. If they don't, like, depending on Azalea's response there, it's entirely possible that this could completely backfire, and they would get like completely shunned and sort of like ostracized, even notwithstanding like how amazing a performance they put on. So this was definitely a gamble as well. So obviously, Kongming, he's the genius, he's thought of everything, he probably knows like how this is gonna turn out, and so he made this calculated decision, right? But all I'm saying is that I definitely would not recommend doing that kind of thing. You want to, like I said, you want to utilize the same area and sort of like make it into, like, force them into a showdown where, all the, like, literally most of the work has already been done by the Azalea side, right? They invested the resources into making this promotion, making this plan. They invested the resources into promoting it and bringing the people here, and then to allow Aiko and the others and their team to sort of like reap the benefits of this, just by them being here at the same space, and then allowing the talent to win out at the very end, right? That's still what they're gonna do, but the way that they reached it is kinda, sorta questionable. I think that's the main point I want to make here. But anyways, that is that, right? And so we will be here for the grand finale next episode. It's definitely going to be Aiko singing Dreamer, and that's probably going to be the first time and the last time that we fully listen to the full song of Dreamer. Well, maybe not the full song of Dreamer, but at least until the first chorus finishes, right? At least it will give us that. And then later on, like, what exactly is going to happen? Well, as I said, it kind of depends on the rules, and if either side wins or whatnot, honestly, I would have no problem with any of it. Because here's my thinking process here. If Azalea wins, well, they do have the talent here. As I said, from a talent perspective, honestly, I would really just give my vote to Azalea right now. And they were as unimaginative as this marketing campaign was, but the fact that in the end, if under this kind of showdown and they were still able to win, well, that still speaks volumes into their sort of performance, right? And then on the other side, if Aiko wins, well, that just means she beat the other side fair and square. Even without resources and whatnot, she was able to convince enough people over there to her side and respect her performance so that she could get into it. And if she fails, or if Azalea fails, I wouldn't really be too bummed about that either. I feel like both sides are aiming a little bit too high too quickly. You know, I understand the concept of, you know, we got dream big, we got aim big and aim high and whatnot, but, you know, these... maybe I'm just a little bit old-fashioned, but I do much prefer the sort of like gradually growing into and being able to have the presence of mind, have the ability, and have the talent to hold the stage. And you know, when we're talking about hold the stage, you gotta gradually go up, right? You don't really just, you know, ride like a you know, a motorbike before you even learn how to walk or ride a bicycle, right? So, you know, I would prefer if they climbed it up a little by little, but it is what it is, so I would be fine either way in the end. So anyways, that was, oh man, it's already 15 minutes. Okay, I didn't really talk too much about anything here, but somehow, you know, time flies. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next episode for the grand finale. Don't miss it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.